Hey, welcome to Q&A Friday. I'm Jeff Harrison with Reservations. Yesterday, we talked about targeting, and it brought up a question or two about targeting. One specific was, hey, what if I don't know for sure who my ideal target market is? Now, hopefully that's not the case, but sometimes there's a different way around it, and we can use video to do that. As an example, if you take a video, let's say you put a video out, you would want to set up your ad set or your objective as video views. And what that will do is it will start just putting in front of people who will view your video. And here's kind of a knockout factor. When you set this up, you want to make your audience, let's say for instance, you have a restaurant downtown in a location. You say, well, I want everybody within 5-mile radius of my location to see my video. So you'll set it for video views, and all you'll do is you'll set it up with only that radius as far as the demographics. And what this is going to do is it's going to put it out to everybody who's within that 5-mile radius, men and women, and you might set your age range from 25 to 64 or 25 to 65 and plus, whatever that is. But then what happens is you're only being charged for video views, which are very inexpensive. But here's the magic in that. You can go back to your audience and say, hey, now that I'm looking at my data, you want to say, well, who would I actually retarget to? Now that may be a new word for you, because we're going to retarget the people who are watching your video 50% or more of the time. Now, why do we want to do this? Well, let's face it. People who just scroll through and they don't put the thumb stopper on there, if you will, and say, hey, let me see what this video is about, they're probably not your audience. They're tire kickers. Maybe they're vegans and you sell steaks, or vice versa, and they're not interested in that. But what you're going to do is you're going to say anybody who is, let's say 50% or more of your video, let's say it's a 1-minute video. So that means they watched more than half the video to completion. And you go back in and say, hey, I want to create a retargeting ad. And that retargeting ad may be the actual offer. So the first video you put out may be more of an awareness. Hey, you're making people aware of your location. Then the people that are interested in your location are going to watch it more. Then you're going to take that audience and you're going to say, hey, I only want to make an audience now of people who watch my video 50% or more of the time, and this is the offer I want to put in front of them. The chances are you're going to have a much more targeted audience that are really going to engage with your product, versus and I'm not saying you can't do it the other way, where you say, hey, this is my ideal audience because I know they walk in, they're this age, they're this, this male or female, they're that gender, this is their bracket they live in, this is the car, all that kind of stuff. You can do that. But if you're not sure, this is a way to go that allows you to go broad and let your audience tell you by how long they watch your video if they are your target market or not. And then take that audience and then put an offer in front of them. It's kind of a two-stepper, but what happens is it drives your cost down. So what happens is video views can be very inexpensive. There's really no call to action on there. You're just showing the audience your product. It's more of it's an awareness play that you have, that you sell X, Y, and Z, or you do this type of service. Then you take that same audience that watches more than half, and now you put the offer in front of them. And I'll bet you that's going to help you. So this is a way to actually leverage the power of video and help you get a much better idea of who your audience is. Now here's the cool part. Once you get that audience of 50% or better, you can also then, it'll start telling you what these people look like, who they are, what they do. It'll give you a little bit more of a range of what their interest and behaviors might be. So give that a shot. I'm curious how that'll work for you. It's a very successful method. There's a gentleman that I'm making contact with a little bit, in fact, right after I get off the show here, who is doing this exact method out in a small town in Texas that is just crushing it doing this process. So I'll report back to you how that went. But in the meantime, go out there, make that video where you're just it's a general video of an awareness video, and then that market that watches 50% or more, then put the offer in front of them. All right, that's really all we have. This is Q&A Friday. We have a great interview coming up on Monday. This interview is with, her name is Carol White. She is the CEO and president, and she has been for quite some time, for the New Mexico Restaurant Association. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. This is that'll be a pre-recorded interview. It's just, she brings the fire. There's some great pieces in there. Some stuff that when I asked her and she gave me the answer back really surprised me, and not surprised me, but helped me focus my attention on, hey, how do we help restaurants? What do we want to do? It's not always about, hey, we need more on the bottom line. There are some other things that I know as a restaurant owner, you face that as a marketer, we're thinking, hey, the number one thing is you just need to get people in the seats. So I hope you'll tune in for that. That's 8:30 on Monday morning, Pacific Standard Time. I'll still be, or Andrew and I will still be monitoring it live, so you have questions, we'll answer those. We'll be interacting with you. In the meantime, have a great weekend. My name is Jeff Harrison, and no, he's not here. Andrew will be back with us next week, and in the meantime, have a great weekend.